Yeah, I just think that was a little too harsh penalty for
I did too.
Jeff Swindell to kick him out for the rest
Quick
of the
note, Mark Billings chiming in on the chat room. Mark, it's nice to hear from you. Thanks for joining us here on the show. Quick note, Mid-America Lightning Sprints and Midwest Lightning Sprints have merged as one group. That is great news.
The Mid-America and the Midwest Lightning Sprints.
What did I say? Mid-America Lightning Sprints and Midwest Lightning Sprints.
Now, what's the Midwest Lightning Sprints? What's that organization?
Mark Billings, you see our phone number up there. Give us a call. Fill us in on what's happening.
I'm not
here
familiar with that one.
Is he talking about Bob Douglas and their?
No. What is the? I don't know. We'll find out.
I saw that on the chat room too. I don't know. I'm trying to look it up on some stories real quick.
Keep an eye on it. Generic user, that's what Tony did to Kevin. Sure. Fair enough. That's what Tony Stewart did to Kevin Ward. Absolutely. Yeah. Moved him up the track a
Well,
little
that would be Bob Douglas's organization.
Yeah.
Midwest Lightning Sprints,
right.
So they're merging. Okay.
I thought it was
That is
Midwest
good.
Outlaw Lightning Sprints. Oh, they quit saying that, Moles. They didn't like that, did
Yeah.
they?
MLS.
I love Bob. You know, he
Right.
is, yes, that is correct, he says.
Midwest Lightning
Let me
Sprints.
tell you
Bob
something
Douglas
about Bob Douglas.
That's good news.
There's nobody that's done
Yeah.
more for 1,200 mini sprints than Bob Douglas in this area. Mark Billings and what they've done with their series and creating more interest is good. Now that they're merging together,
I think what Mark Billings
great news.
did. I think what Mark Billings did with that organization is increase their car count. All the way
Absolutely.
around. There's no doubt about
Well,
it.
they have like 15 or
Yeah.
18 of them up there at
Right.
I-35 on that last open wheel show.
So it helped. It helped the car
I will
count.
tell you that if I could trade my sprint car, or if somebody would ask me to drive a 1,200 mini sprint, I would do it today. That's really what I see me doing. If I drive anything again, it
Right.
would probably be a Midwest Lightning Sprint, because I think I want to drive an open wheel car, and those cars appeal to me. And what I love about the 1200s is the cost of maintenance and running the same motor over a period of time. Everything is cost effective and it fits my schedule.
yeah.
So where you can race it,
And
roll
you
it
can
in the
go
garage,
fast. You can go
come
fast.
home after being out on the road for a few weeks, get in it and go run it. Not have to sit in the garage night after night and work on it.
And these cars go fast.
Yeah,
and
no
they're
doubt.
good.
We got
It's
Mark
good,
on line
it's
one.
good racing.
All right.
There's no doubt about it.
Speaking of Mark Billings, he joins us now here on the show. Hey, Mark, how you doing, bud?
Good, Scott. How are you?
Well, it's good news, man. I'm doing well. It's good news. I'm glad to see. You know, I didn't know what to think of it. You know, we're obviously very loyal to Bob Douglas. He's been great supporters of ours. So I had mixed emotions when you guys started your own deal. But I think it's strengthened the quantity of cars in 1200s, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, by all means. We've had an increased car count this year, probably had 6 to 8 cars. We got guys rebuilding cars that haven't raced for several years. We got new guys looking at cars. We really see this as a win-win for this type of racing in this area. So we're all excited. We restructured the group, and we really look forward to having a great year in 2015.
Is there going to be a change in the name
That's
of the
the first
group?
thing I was thinking, yeah. What's the name of the group?
No, Midwest Lightning Sprints
Okay.
was the longest-standing group in this area. I think they're going on the 27th year.
Right.
Me and Phil never started Mid-America Lightning Sprints to compete with Midwest Lightning Sprints. We just did it to add some shows. Phil was fortunate enough to be a successful businessman and able to add quite a bit of money to this group in this area. And we feel that really has added to promoting our class and where we're at right now. And you know, obviously we both, Bob Douglas and ourselves, wanted to capitalize on this success.
The momentum.
And we felt it was time to merge. You
Well,
know?
you're a man of your word, because you never did, not one time, schedule up against
I know of,
Midwest
yeah.
Lightning Sprints.
Yeah, no, it never was about that. I know, you know, some even within the group tried to portray it as us versus them. It never was that. It just, the opportunity presented itself, and myself with some contacts with some of the track owners were able to get us in some of these tracks, and we felt that it was just a good opportunity to promote our class.
How different is the schedule going to look? Now that
Well,
you're-
we're still working through that right now. We've got opportunities at several different tracks. It's still going to be a weekly show. We may take a few weeks off depending on how this all goes. But it's really early in the planning stages. We've got opportunities at all the local tracks, being that our car count was great this year. So we're not ready to release that yet, but we will have a weekly show.
Mark, when you guys started Mid-America Lightning Sprints, obviously you wanted to see more races, the quantity of races, and I think you wanted to see an increase in the purse as well. Is that something that you guys are going to try to bring over, ramp it up a little bit, and help the overall 1200 program by adding a little money? You talked about Phil Hevelo and his success as a businessman. Are you going to take those business skills and some of that you've learned with Mid-America Lightning Sprints over there and increase the purses a little bit?
I believe so. It's all, as you know, it's up to sponsorship dollars, but I believe Phil will probably contribute. We're going to have some special shows. We'll have our weekly structure, with a purse structure that obviously is somewhat based off sponsorship money and also what the track contributes to the organization. But look for some special shows. I know Bob is currently looking for a national sponsorship for another nationals at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, there's also throughout the other areas, there's also opportunities for national events there too. So, and what me and Phil have been big on is promoting national lightning sprint rules. So everybody in middle America is following the same rules right now. So guys are free to cross over state lines and organizations, and that really has helped too.
Yeah. Well, I think it's great what's going on with you guys. I was up there for that national race up at I-35 Speedway. And let me just say this about Bob Douglas. Most promoters would have thrown in the towel when they saw about 50 people up there that first night in the grandstands. It was cold. You guys were up against a lot that was going on with baseball and everything. A lot of people would have called it and chucked it in on that. But he stayed with the program. It didn't matter if it was a win or lose situation. You had a great car count, both with the non-wing cars and the 1200s, and great racing to boot. I think that event could get some legs under it if Bob decides to stay with it. That thing could grow into something special.
Yeah, hats off to Bob and all the crew that actually worked that event. The track actually was heavy on Friday night. I went up there and had motor problems, so I wasn't much of a show. But the track actually was good. It was really fast on Friday night. Like you said, the car count was great. It's a shame that the fans didn't support it. I heard that they did do some radio advertising, so there was a lot of time and effort put into this event. And the fans that didn't show up missed a good event, and the fans that did show up, I hope that they really liked the event.
You know what we need to do? We need to make that a live broadcast on Racin Boys next year. Is what we need to do. Give that some brand awareness. I think that would be great for it. Well, Mark, it sounds like great news. We're happy that you guys have combined your effort, and it sounds like momentum is on your side, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next year. And if you know anybody that's looking for a fat, bald, 54-year-old driver, you tell them you know one that would be glad to try to squeeze himself into that car.
Yeah, we'd like to have you.
I'd love to do it. All right, buddy. Thanks so much for calling in. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Scott.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Mark K. Billings.
That's some pretty good stuff there. I'm happy for everybody with the 1200s. That's good.
Yeah, that is good news. And they said right from the outset that they didn't want to compete against them, but they didn't schedule up against them. You kind of wondered just what
we've heard that before, right? When Valley Sprints and War started, they said the same thing, but they ended
scheduled up against.
They ended up scheduling against each other. So a man of their words, Phil Hevelo and Mark Billings, not competing against Bob,
and what they did,
that created no animosity. And I think Bob Douglas. Listen, a lot of people, I might have been had some animosity towards somebody trying to compete against me. But Bob is such a good guy, such a laid-back guy. He never looked at it that way. They all work together as one, and they strengthen this thing. And I think the future.
They're in a better place now than before. Maybe Mid-America Lightning Sprints was formed because the car counts are bigger.
They're in a better place maybe now than ever.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.